Okay, this is Yum Dude, and today we are making kimchi jjigae or kimchi soup. This is not an authentic recipe, but it's fairly close. It's my take on it, and I hope you enjoy it. So to start, we are going to make the stock. You'll need about 2 cups of water in your pot. In this case, we have a 3-liter pot with 500 milliliter of water. And the first thing we're going to do is cook the stock. So if you have my kimchi vinaigrette on hand, you can really use that as a shortcut and a flavoring to make the stock. You can just go ahead and add 4 tablespoons of that directly in there now. Or if you don't have that, don't worry, we're going to go through a number of different options to make your kimchi jjigae stock. So, option 1, if you don't have anchovy soup base, you can use ramen. You can use the flavoring from any ramen. In this case, it just happens to be a kimchi ramen pack. If you have ramen soup base flavoring, you can use that according to the directions on the package. If you don't have any of that, you can really use any bouillon, any soup base, any broth, canned stock that you have, whether it's chicken or beef. It's going to be fine. Okay, so in this case, we'll make the stock from scratch. I have anchovy stock pellets here. They are from Korea. You can find them online. I'm going to go ahead and add 3 of those. If you are using your own stock, obviously add whatever you have on hand. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add some garlic. I like garlic a lot. I'm going to add 2 cloves. And you can either microplane that, or if you like to take shortcuts like me, just use a crusher and just go ahead and just crush 2 cloves right in there. Get off the excess and just leave them like that. Okay, so we don't need the microplane. We'll put that off to the side. And now we're going to add some shallot. You can use onion if that's what you have. It really doesn't matter. And again, this is a matter of preference and taste. So I'm just going to go ahead and slice the shallot in half. And then I'm going to slice it into smallish sized slices. Again, my knife technique is horrible. Feel free to criticize it if you want, but that's how I do. And I like shallots a lot, so I am actually going to add 1/2 more. Gonna cut that up like so. And I'm just gonna add all of that to the pot. Okay, I'm also gonna put some carrot in there. So I have this handy dandy carrot peeler. If you don't have a peeler like this, you can just cut it into thin strips. It really doesn't matter. I happen to have this, and what it does is it makes these lovely little strips for me. So I'm just going to use that and do that 3 or 4 or 5 times. Nice little pile of carrot. Set my carrot beside. And I'm just going to give those a quick chop and add those directly to my pot. Alright, to round out the flavoring, we're going to take 1 tablespoon of gochujang paste. So it is a Korean paste based on the gochugaru pepper. Just going to add that right in there. It does have a bit of spice to it, so if you like it mild, you might want to stop there. Otherwise, you can take about a tablespoon of gochugaru red pepper flakes, or powder if you don't have the flakes, and just add about a tablespoon right into the pot. And we also have salt, but we are going to hold off on that. The anchovy pellets, the soup stock that you used, the kimchi, everything is going to have a bit of salt in it, so we're going to hold off on salt for now. And what we're going to do is we're just going to give this a quick mix. And we're going to take this over to the stove, boil this up, and do a little cleaning. We'll see you in a minute. Okay, we have our kimchi jjigae on the stove. The heat is on high. We're bringing it up to a boil so we can cook down some of the carrots, the onions, the shallots, the garlic. Let that gochujang paste and the anchovy break down and consolidate. And once it's boiling, we're just going to turn the heat down, in my case down to maybe 6. We'll just let that calm down. If it's still boiling strongly, just ease off the heat down to 4 in this case. And we're just going to let that cook and bring that down to a simmer. Still boiling a little strongly for me, so I'm putting it right down on low. And we're just going to simmer this for maybe another 3-4 minutes, and then we're going to take it off the heat. We are back. If you're cooking this at home, you can leave it on the stove. It's just because of my setup, I'm moving between the stove and the table, so don't really worry about any of that. You can just continue the next steps on the stove. So once you've simmered your stock for around 5 or 6 minutes, you can go ahead and add 4 cups of hot water to the pot for a total of 6 cups. And then we will just continue adding our ingredients. We're going to take some green onion, in this case 3, and we're just going to chop them. Can be as finely or roughly chopped as you liked. I kind of like a medium-sized cut myself. That way you get sort of these nice satisfying chunks in your soup. So just gonna cut those like so, and add all of that to my pot. And we're going to throw a few more things in here. So first of all, we will add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Again, this is completely optional. You should actually taste the stock at this point and see whether it is too salty or not. If it's already on the salty side, do not add soy sauce or any other salty ingredient. In my case, I'm still doing all right, so I'm just gonna add that in there. It's always good to have a little bit of acid, so I am just going to add a tablespoon of rice vinegar right in there, and a tablespoon or 2 of sesame oil. I'm a big fan of sesame oil, so I am just going to go ahead and add 2, because that's how I roll. And give that a good mix. At this time, you should taste your broth. You should always taste in between every step and adjust as necessary. All right, so far so good. So I'm going to go ahead and add the actual kimchi. If you happen to have radish kimchi, you can go ahead and add that. You can just cut it into small slices. Again, don't worry about my knife skills. I am an enthusiast, not a professional. Okay. If you want smaller pieces, you can just go ahead and half those. Just add that in there, like so. And And then get ready to add your kimchi. If you have fresh kimchi, you can also add some of the brine directly from the kimchi. That will enhance the overall kimchi flavor of the soup. In this case, I'll use about 4 tablespoons. And if your kimchi is already chopped, you can just go ahead and add somewhere between a half pound and a pound, or if you buy whole head kimchi like I do, you can just grab the entire head of kimchi, cut off the hard bit at the end, and we are going to take maybe about 2/3 of this kimchi, and I'm just going to chop it roughly here into pieces. And as a bonus, the kimchi comes with a bit of radish in itself. So I'm just going to add that into the pot like so. And I'm going to put the whole thing back on the stove. I'm going to clean up a bit and I'll be right back. Okay, we've added the cold ingredients and another 4 cups of water to our 2 cups of stock for a total of 6 cups. We have the kimchi jjigae back on the stove, and we're just going to bring that to a low simmer, just to let it cook. Now, at this time, there's a lot of things you can add to your soup if you have a desire to do so. You can add mushrooms, you can add tofu, you can add proteins. Pork is excellent, whether that's belly, whether that's loin, whether that's shoulder or hock. You can add beef. If you have hot pot meat, you can throw it in there. Just keep in mind, if you're cooking meat, you might want to cook it low and slow for a few hours. Otherwise, you might want to pre-cook the meat, either braise it, pressure cook it, sous vide it, get that meat nice and soft, get it into smallish pieces, add it to the pot, and go. So, as always, you want to taste your recipes as you go. So I'm just gonna dip in here, grab some of the stock, and just sample it. We're back, and that just about wraps up our kimchi jjigae episode. So you can make it a number of different ways. My favorite way is to use, again, 3 anchovy pellets, 4 tablespoons of my kimchi vinaigrette. The recipe for that will be at the end of this video and is also its own video, so check it out. And just feel free to experiment. As always, adjust the taste according to your preference and enjoy. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.